In grade 1, students should be able to recognize properties of whole number addition, and they should be able to use those properties to help them solve addition and subtraction problems within 20. So let's look at what those properties are, and these are going to be repeated throughout the semester, so you really want to have these definitions down. Okay, so the first property we're going to look at is the closure property. It says that if I take any two whole numbers and add them, then I get another whole number back. This implies that the sum exists, so the sum of two whole numbers exists, and it is a unique whole number. The commutative property of addition tells me that it doesn't matter what order I add in. So A plus B is equal to B plus A, and we visualized this property below on the number line here. So you can see I've done 3 plus 5 on the top, and I've done 5 plus 3 on the bottom, and in both cases I get 8, right? This is just an example to illustrate. That doesn't prove the property. You can see over here on the right we've got out the blocks that represent 3 and 5, and again when you stack them together you get the same length, and so that illustrates the commutative property there. The associative property lets me take three numbers, and when I add them together, I can either first add A plus B and then add C, or I can reassociate. I could first add B plus C and then add A to that. So that's the associative property. The identity property says that there's a unique whole number 0 called the additive identity that lets us take A plus 0 and we get A back, and that's the same as if I added 0 plus A. Okay, so the identity is something that when you perform the operation with the identity and any other element, you get that element back. Okay, so let's try identifying some properties here. So the first example, I have 7 plus 4 equals 4 plus 7. So what's happened here? I've switched my order of addition. That's my commutative property. So commutative property of addition. 67 plus 123 is a whole number. That's my closure property that says that if I add any two whole numbers, I get another whole number. So this is closure. Property of addition. 14 plus 4 plus 6 is equal to 14 plus, in parentheses, 4 plus 6. So what have I done here? I've reassociated. That's my associative property. Okay. Number 4, I have 8 plus 5 first, plus 2, equals 2 plus the quantity 8 plus 5 equals 2 plus 8 first, and then plus 5. So let's go one step at a time. In this first equals, what happened? I switched the order of the 8 plus 5 and the 2. So what property lets me switch the order of addition? That's my commutative property. Okay. And in my second equals, what did I do? I reassociated, right? I put the 2 plus 8 together first and then plus 5. That's the associative property. So why might a kid want to be able to do these things? Well, if you were trying to add 8 plus 5 plus 2, maybe it's hard for a kid to add 8 plus 5, but we really want to emphasize to them building tens, so getting to 10. So the kid might recognize that, well, if I can add the 2 and the 8 first, that's going to get me to 10. And so this is going to let them add a little bit easier because now they can add 10 plus 5, and adding something to 10 is a little bit easier for kids. Okay, so that's why they might want to use that property. All right, what about 89 plus 0 equals 89? Well, we're adding 0 and getting that number back that we started with. That's our identity property. All right, you want to get really comfortable with these properties. Like I said, they're going to come up a lot, and I am going to expect you to be able to use this vocabulary fluently. Okay, so practice these properties if you don't already know them.